Time magazine called him the unsung hero behind the internet. CNN called him a father of the internet. President Bill Clinton called him one of the great minds of the information age. He has been voted history's greatest scientist of African descent. He is Philip Emeagwali. He's coming to Trinidad and Tobago to launch the 2008 Kwame Ture lecture series on Sunday, June 8th at the JFK Auditorium, New St. Augustine, 5 p.m. The Emancipation Support Committee invites you to come and hear this inspirational mind address the theme, crossing new frontiers to conquer today's challenges. This lecture is one you cannot afford to miss. Admission is free, so be there on Sunday, June 8th, 5 p.m. at the JFK Auditorium, New St. Augustine.
In 1965, I was in the 6th grade in St. John's Primary School, Agbor, Nigeria. In January 1966, I enrolled in St. George's Grammar School, Obinomba, Nigeria. 15 months later, I fled from Obinomba, Nigeria, to Onitsha, Biafra. My Igbo-speaking family fled from Nigeria to Biafra, and we fled because thousands of Igbos from southeastern Nigeria were being killed in northern Nigeria. That organized killings of Igbos occurred from May 29, 1966 through September 29, 1966. That civil uprising preceded the war between Nigeria and Biafra. That war began on July 6, 1967 and ended on January 15, 1970. 1 in 15 Biafrans died during that 30-month-long war. In the list of the worst genocidal crimes of the 20th century that was committed against humanity, the death of 1 in 15 Biafrans was ranked 5th. In the evening of March 21, 1968, the day my hometown of Onitsha was captured by Nigerian soldiers, we fled on foot and fled from 14 Mba Road, Onitsha, Biafra, to Merchants of Light School, Oba, Biafra. Tens of thousands of refugees that fled from Onitsha were camped at Merchants of Light School, Oba, Biafra. At about 6 o'clock of the following morning of March 22, 1968, we were alerted by fleeing refugees that advancing Nigerian soldiers had captured Onitsha and might capture our refugee camp at Oba, and do so within a few hours. Scared, we continued our flight to Nnewi and Nnobi and stopped our flight when we reached a refugee camp that was a former school classroom that was across the street from the Catholic Church in Oketiti, Biafra. About 5 days after the war was over, or on about January 20, 1970, we returned as refugees and squatted for 5 months in an abandoned house that was along Port Harcourt Road in the Fege quarters of Onitsha. In mid-1970, I began to teach myself physics, algebra, geometry, and calculus. About 2 weeks after I received a scholarship letter from Oregon, United States, that was dated September 10, 1973, I was in Lagos, Nigeria, to apply for an international travel passport. Back in 1973, the Nigerian passport or its application forms cannot be received by mail. At that time, the Nigerian Passport Office in Kakawa Street, Lagos, Nigeria, had a reputation as a cesspool of corruption all persons applying for the Nigerian passport spent months coming to the passport office and did so to monitor the progress of their applications. Nigerian travel passports were deliberately withheld by the chief passport officer in Lagos. Back in 1973, my travel passport was withheld until shortly after Christmas Day. My passport was withheld until I paid a bribe of £5 to one of the passport touts. I had expected to be in the United States as early as June 1973 at age 18. I had applied for admission into American schools, and I applied shortly after I had passed the entrance examination to the University of London that I took as an external candidate back in January 1973 in Onitsha, East Central State, Nigeria. My Nigerian travel passport was issued in late December 1973 and after a 6-month delay. I arrived in the United States on Sunday, March 24, 1974, and after a 9-month delay, and after paying a bribe of £5 to a passport tout who claimed that the chief passport officer gets a large commission from that bribe. That £5 was a month's wage. My Nigerian travel passport was also withheld until I paid a presumably round-trip airfare from Lagos, Nigeria to Portland, Oregon, United States. That two-way airfare was in addition to my one-way airfare to Portland, Oregon, United States. That two-way airfare was called quote-unquote repatriation fee, but it was an extortion fee. I paid for a round-trip ticket, but I was never given any ticket. I paid £150 or 30 months' salary as the advance repatriation fee. I paid the chief passport officer in Lagos 2.5 years' salary for the privilege of leaving Nigeria to study in the United States. As a result of that exorbitant extortion from the chief passport officer, I arrived in the United States with only $134, or much less than the bribe that I paid the corrupt chief passport officer of Nigeria. I believe that my repatriation fee went into the personal bank account of the chief passport officer in Lagos, Nigeria.
Insightful and brilliant lecture.